Harrison Bader isn't meant to be the hero. A light-hitting Gold Glove defender, he's just an afterthought of the stars of MLB. And it doesn't help that he, after growing up in the Bronx, was traded to either the most hated or the most beloved team, depending on who you ask. The New York Yankees. Not only that, but to acquire Bader, the Yankees had to betray a loyal soldier of their own. Jordan Montgomery first uniformed with his new squadron against the very group that abandoned him. When his platoon managed a small advance in the first inning, Montgomery held the Yankees' attack silent. A stunning victory. At the same time, one Lone Ranger was on his new Yankee hospital bed, seeing all of this unfold. But come the most important time of year for any soldier, the evil empire needed someone to make the big attacks happen. They needed a Darth Vader. Or, they needed their Darth Bader. Normally, you coordinate your army and make the advances together. Not in the Bronx, though. Bader doesn't have time to wait for anyone else. He can only hope that his teammates will be there when he needs them the most. One of my favorite statistics, and the one we're gonna highlight today, is win probability added. Think of this as territory. Each side enters the battlefield with 50% of the land. For WPA, each individual play is graded based on how much territory you conquer from your opponents. Once you take all of the opponent's land, the battle is over. And Darth Bader has prepared his weapon of choice, the lightsaber. And then the war broke out. The new entrants into the war straddled into the core of the evil empire for the first battle. And yet Stephen Kwan, a mere novice to the big battles, made a huge advance for the Guardians of the Galaxy with a big shot off Garrett Cole, the Yankees' best cannon. But no foreign Canadian arm can beat Darth Vader. And just like that, the lightsaber blasts the game back even, catching 13% of the Guardians' territory off guard. Thanks to a 2-run wipeout bomb by Rizzo, the Guardians and their Canadian allies were forced to retreat and regroup down a game for a reconquest of New York. But when the dust cleared on the second battle, Cleveland had evened it up, and with the successful defense of their home, the evil empire would fall. With 2 early shots, the Yankees were clearly winning, but it was clear that the Guardians were starting to poke holes in the Yankee defense. They already cemented a chip in the defense and brought the deficit to within 1 by a combined team effort. But Darth Vader doesn't have time to wait for that, and no towering lefty pitcher could subdue the Darth Lord's single crushing attack. But the Guardians stayed on guard the entire time, and left with one final strike. Oscar Gonzalez flips the whole narrative on his head. One more defense of Cleveland, and the evil empire will fall. In the final battle of Cleveland, the Yankees struck first, as Rizzo, the only player to out-hit Darth Vader in the series, played some team ball and drove his teammate in with a single. Driving in a run without scoring yourself. That's how you play team ball. Darth Vader doesn't have time for that. Josh Donaldson gets in the way of Bader by getting on base. Unfazed, however, Bader sends this ball and therefore Cal Quantrill back to Canada defeated, the biggest advance of this game, 17%. This would be the only runner the entire postseason that Bader drove in that was not himself. The final battle between the Guardians and the evil empire, the Guardians could not attack, only watch on guard as the monstrous twin attackers of Judge and Stanton prove why the evil empire was an empire. The Guardians played it safe, not even allowing Bader to swing his lightsaber 3 out of 4 times. But the evil empire did not fall. But how long would this last? Their most important battle now was no longer going to be on the ground. They were going to Space City for a chance to rewrite the Yankee history of the last 12 years. And in Houston, it wasn't the Astros who struck first. Rather, Darth Vader reach liftoff, with this ball just his flaming hot lightsaber decimating this intergalactic battle. And yet, only Anthony Rizzo could support the Bronx bombing attack, as this interstellar battlefield proved too much for the mere Earthlings of a Yankee squad. In fact, as they returned back to Earth, the Yankees lost again, falling back 3-0 thanks to Chas McCormick taking cold deep in a stuttering Yankee offense at best. Frustrated by his Earthlings' inability to fight interstellar forces, Air Boone turned to the one and only person who could seem to lead the charge. Darth Vader would bat lead off in Game 4. And it clearly lit an early fire under these Yankees. Vader trotted home first as a 1-0 Yankees lead quickly became 2-0 and then 3-0. But all it takes is one lead-altering attack by a season-altering newbie, and suddenly the interstellar forces find themselves out in front. Rizzo musters this game back to even, setting up a battle that the Yankees need to win or surrender and fall. And well, there's one guy who continues to attack. Tick, tick, boom. There's a Yankee bomber for you. But Vader is no hero. For Hero is victorious. 4 consecutive base runners lead the Astros to victory. And Vader has no more saviorism in him to take this team out of this world. As I told you previously, only a lone Josh Donaldson was driven in by one of 5 Harrison Vader home runs. On average, that would have brought 4 other runners home. Vader could only marvel at his measly 6 RBIs and 4 solo shots. Over the 2 series, Vader overall added a win probability of almost 0.5, meaning single-handedly, this seemingly weak hitter won the Yankees half an entire game by himself. That doesn't do him justice though, because that takes into account his negative stats too. If we consider just the 5 major blasts, we find all 5 combined for a 73% conquista of a game. Not only that, all of those blasts were either hit in 1-run games or tie games, where such blasts are most impactful. Those shots were not necessarily towards the end of games, but they highlight the hidden clutch situations early in games, plays that often have more significance than people give them. In 4 of these games, Vader provided the most valuable Yankee advance, and it's amazing that a player whose 5 home runs led the AL postseason didn't play in the last 6 games of the World Series. Not only that, Vader's 5 postseason home runs matched the total he hit all season. In fact, those postseason home runs were Vader's first home runs suiting up for the Yankees. Vader wanted to work with others, but he was forced to work by himself. Nobody ever worked to get on base for him. None of the 4 different batters that batted ahead of Vader in the batting lineup managed to get on base, leaving Vader no help, regardless of which spot he was in the batting order. So despite reaching base 15 times, with 10 hits, the Darth Lord is left alone. And to think this guy was used to saving runs as a Gold Glover. So, Vader is no hero, for the hero is always victorious and has the support of many behind him. No. Vader, having no teammates ready to attack when he did, can only be described as a Darth Lord, forced to play for the evil empire and on the wrong side of history by himself. He is truly an anti-hero.
The quest continues for our world championships.